if we don't stick to the boundaries we set for ourselves, then we've already lost any boundary that we're going to set both personally and professionally.
Okay.
So it's almost, in a way, it's almost like, well, okay, maybe you can confirm this again from what I've seen. This I have not experienced yet, but like parents and grounding, right? Like the adage of, I'm going to ground you and it's going to be for 3 weeks. But then if you let up in like a week and a half, the child's like, you don't really need that.
I mean, that's probably a good example. My children, I don't know if you've heard from my children. For those of you guys that have seen prior episodes with one of my children co-hosting, you'll know that I'm up for Mom of the Year a lot, but it's I'm really not. But I think when we think about it with parenting, we do set boundaries. But the reason we set boundaries with our children is because we are trying to keep them safe. We are trying to not let them put their hand on the stove. We're trying to not let them drive too fast or sneak out or things. So we said that we're trying to not let them date the wrong person. We had a discussion about that at my house this week. Not because somebody was, but just hypotheticals. We do that to protect people.
Yeah.
And I think that's, with parenting, we do that a lot. But we've also got to, and we do that because we love them, right? Mm-hmm. We've got to love ourselves enough.
Yeah.
So I think Heidi, all right, so Heidi said great, all right, she said love her too. I think boundaries, Heidi, is about loving yourself and protecting yourself. Yep. And we do that and we set boundaries for our kids, because any of you guys that know me personally, I will cut a person when it comes to my kids. I really will. Like, this is when my black belt comes out if you mess with my kids. I will put a boundary up between anybody hurting my children or anybody in my circle. Like my tiny little bubble, you mess with my circle, I get nice Kristen goes away. I mean, really easy. That's, if you ever want to see crazy Kristen, that's how to do it. But we don't do that for ourselves. And I know, I mean, I hope most of you guys listening love yourself enough to do it. But Lynn just said she struggled with this her whole life. And Lynn, I think that's common. And which is why Whitney and I wanted to do this. We just threw the cuss word in to keep everybody on their toes. But
well, and B&B kind of
went.
Goes together.
But I feel like so many of us struggle. I mean, to your point, Lynn, all of us at some point have struggled, some more than others.
Yeah.
Why is it so tough, though? Why do you guys think, I'd love to hear the comments, why do you guys think it's a challenge to set a boundary?
Part of it, I feel like, is we don't want to come across as cutting people out or being rude, avoiding the I'm better than, you're less than. Like, I think a little bit of it, we struggle with that. I think some of it, I'm thinking of just even the parent-child relationship, because, right, your dynamic changes. You do put that child first. I think some of us have probably had situations where parents came before ourselves, where the child became the parent.
Yeah.
And we were taking care of our
kids
parents.
have that.
And it almost feels like if it's a foundation, right? If you start that early enough, you kind of just take that with you through the rest of your life, because you never really stopped to examine is it, do we know what our boundaries are as well? Like, do we know what that is for ourselves?
I think that's part of it, is we need to figure out where we need to put boundaries in place. And I feel like for so many of us, we know when we need to hold a boundary. And it's the ookiness. Like I always say, follow your gut. I'm a big person on follow your gut. And for those of you guys who have been listening for our 5 years, I talk about it a lot. All of the bonehead decisions I've made in my life, all of the things I did really wrong, whether it was relationships or parenting or marriage or anything, it was when I didn't follow my gut. So I think in our gut, we know when somebody's crossed a line, or when we need to put a boundary in place, or when somebody's taking way more than they're giving.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we don't do it. So it's following the gut, the nudges, the God winks, whatever you want to call them, to honor ourselves enough to say, hey, look, this is not working for me. And that's hard sometimes, because I think we're scared of what we might lose.
Oh, 100%.
Right?